markers are out. It's been a while. I don't know why. Okay, I guess we did some weird stuff in the Create This Book. Collage junk, cyanotype, lots of different art supplies. Let's get cozy and make some art. Transfer sheets, the Create This Book, markers. Is this everything? And of course the video.
Well, so it feels really weird to be filming again.
Pop a little Chloe Rose art on. What is the first prompt? Create style. Come up with your own style for clothes, shoes, and or accessories. Okay, this is the sketch. We've actually got a lot to get through today, and it's a little bit of a throwback because we're currently a little bit back in time, then we're gonna go further back in time, and then we come back to the present because this Create This Book episode is actually technically 2 in 1. Firstly, we're starting off with 2 prompts and using only alcohol markers. The biggest struggle here is not using colour pencils. Alcohol markers have a lovely look and it's quite soft, but that means when it comes to the edges, it can be hard to actually add definition, especially on paper like this, because unfortunately the alcohol markers do bleed a little bit, so it's really hard to get those harsh lines in there. Trying to restrict us to only alcohol markers, which we've actually done once before on the channel. I will pop that video below if you want to check that one out. That is crazy because we actually created 2 pieces for that video. One was the greenhouse, which I absolutely love, and yet the entire episode was filmed in about 2 hours. It's crazy. Alcohol markers are a very fast medium, but maybe not today because we're adding a lot. Drawing an entire person and now adding various different colors on the background. I'm gonna give you a little spoiler alert here. I'm not a huge fan of this spread, but we have a lot to get through, and we're not going to skip anything. You have seen every single page from the Create This Book, from how much art can you make, that's been created. I'm going to show you every single piece because even when the art doesn't go well, it's important to see that too. I'm not going to hide it from you. Every single episode on the channel covers every single page created, and sometimes they're in like little spontaneous ones too. You might see the daily doodle diary pop up in different videos, which is always a bit of fun. There is a vibe we're going for. It's kind of fashion and quirky and bright colors, a little bit kind of grunge, but unfortunately there's just something in the execution and the anatomy. Let's see if you can figure it out. You know what, since this spread is already looking chaotic, why don't we reach for some tape? Of course, let's add washi tape into the mix, and why don't we add some stickers too? It's already looking incredibly chaotic. Terrible decisions all round. You can see why I kept hold of this episode's footage for the longest time. This is actually from the beginning of the year before we painted the checkerboard walls. I guess I'm trying to make those cute sketchbook spreads that you see on Instagram and failing because there's a random steak and stars and 2 people. And we are going in with more. Okay, this tape is actually gorgeous though. It's one of those pet tapes, so it's clear, like a big sticker. I've wanted to use it for the longest time. I don't think this was the right place, but here we are, we're doing it. And we're going even crazier. Lots of decisions being made. But you know what? It's actually quite a fun process to make chaotic, extra maximalist pieces that also kind of look terrible. It's fun to make. And the biggest problem is actually the anatomy on the left person's face. I put the eye in the wrong place. It's alcohol markers, they're clear, we can't fix it. But yes, that is actually the biggest problem with this page. Ah well. Moving on to the second prompt. Create a terrible smoothie. Invent a smoothie made from blending the grossest things you can think of. Yuck, list the recipe. Guess we need something like a light grey to represent the glass of the smoothie. Right? It's kind of just grey. Maybe a little bit of yellow for highlight, maybe a little bit of blue for shadows. Starting off with the most boring parts, we need to put the background in place and we need to create the glass. Because now we can move on to the components. What's actually going into the most terrible smoothie? 'Cause First up is meatballs, okay? I'm sorry. There's something in the texture. I don't really like food that's been ground up and then cooked on the outside. So it's like hard on the outside and then really squidgy on the middle. Not a fan. Secondly, ginger. The smell, the taste, I cannot stand it. It's the ingredient I dislike most. Oh, third is a little bit controversial. Can you guess what it is? It's not necessarily a hate. I genuinely just don't think that this food adds anything. And that is cucumber. It tastes like water whilst also kind of tasting like nothing. Yeah, not for me. And then we're going into coconut. Don't know what it is, but there's something. And to be fair, with everything combined, it surely would taste horrible. Next up in the terrible smoothie, it's cauliflower. Does anyone actually like cauliflower? Like, is it something that you would reach for? Do you actually enjoy it? Or is it just on the side of a roast dinner? Because it's the worst vegetable on the side of a roast dinner. You have carrots, you have broccoli, potatoes. Where does a cauliflower fit in?
Out a poll on my community page asking you what you want to do to celebrate.
Moving on to the Cassie projects and some final little details. 2 very different and silly spreads that didn't quite go to plan. And that's only the first video wrapped up. It's now time to move on to the second project. It's been a while, there's something I need to show you. I created this as part of a collaboration. Unfortunately, 1 year has passed and it's not happening anymore. It's like half finished, and even though it was a year ago, I think it's a really cute piece. So let me show you everything it's taken to get to this point. We need to head to the thrift stores, the charity shops. On the lookout for fabric. But what are these? Yup, you see that really big map there? I bought it. I don't know, there's something about maps in junk journaling. It looks really cool. So anyway, we're on the lookout for fabric because for the next Create This Book prompt, that is the medium of choice. There's a lot of different textures here. And these are the two we're going for. 99p, it's like a brown, natural kind of look. It might work for ground. And then this little pink one for 49p has some flowers on it. Trust the process, I guess. Let's pop them in the wash. Also got this lovely lace white fabric. It's so pretty, it's come from the curtains. First, we need to figure out the size of the book. It's a little too wonky. For now, the idea is to put several different pieces of fabric together on this base. We don't want it to be too thick, so just a little bit here and there. Gonna use some decoupage, which does take forever to dry. At this point, I'm kind of picturing hills, but we can't layer too many pieces because if it gets really thick, it's gonna make the book huge, and if the book gets huge, it's gonna be more likely to break, and we don't want that. Trying to seal the edges a little bit too, and there's actually a huge mess. Yep, we're going all the way back to this project. The marker stand and the old daily doodle diary. At the moment, it's just a little idea, so let's try and piece this together. I'm thinking a fantasy world. That might be a little bit ambitious. Alright, we're finally dry. Let's try and turn this into art. We have some hills. We need a sun, some more hills, a sky, a dragon, a castle, that kind of thing. And of course we're going in with the blob style, my favourite style when it comes to acrylic markers. Even though this was filmed over a year ago, I'm so happy that I finally get to show you this footage because, yeah, it's a different desk and the lighting might not be the same as what it is nowadays, but I actually really like this creation, or at least the first half. A lot of love and care went into creating this piece, so I'm glad I finally get to show you. But unfortunately, that is one of the things with YouTube and being online. I talked about this recently in the bingo card that we went through 6 months on and saw how many goals I was meeting or not meeting, and one of them is to arrange 5 artist collabs, and it seems like such a lovely idea. It's something I really want to do more, but also if you've been around on this channel for a little while, you'll know that quite a few collabs have fallen through, and it does hurt, honestly, because for the ones that have fallen through, I have created the art, I've created the video, and then gone to check up and see how it's going, and unfortunately I'm the only one that's done it. It's happened a few times now, and it is a reason that's kind of put me off trying to arrange more collabs, even though I love the concept, I love the idea. It's difficult and it is sad. And then I have to try and figure out how I'm gonna still show you the project when it's missing a bunch of footage. The storytelling is a little bit all over the place. The packaging has gone out the window because that's not the type of video anymore. It is really unfortunate, but still, I like this piece and you finally get to see it. And at the end of the day, it's getting stuck in my own Create This Book now. So it's kind of nice to not lose the piece as well. The original idea was to create half and then half is created by somebody else. So that's why we're focusing mostly on the top part here. I love the fact that the clouds have been left brown so that fabric shows through. Painting on fabric, that is something that I generally like to do, especially when it comes to the plushie makeovers. Kewpie and Strawberry, they both have their own fabric showing through. So when it comes to projects like this, I do actually like to keep the original design and add to it rather than completely making it my own. And in this case, I think it works. The brown showing through underneath. I don't really see the point in using fabric and painting on fabric if we can't see what's underneath. But this one has all of those gaps whilst combining the style that I love and also the little castle. Oh, it's just so cute. But this side has lots of different elements that I love when they're all put together like that.
Me feeling like I gotta run. Need another hit or two before I'm having fun.
Since doing this, I have now got fabric medium, as you might know from the little plushie over there. So we'll continue by mixing paint. I have a little bit of red still on here, so I might just dry brush a bit of texture just to cover up some of this join, because you can see the glue underneath and it's not really the look I was going for. That one a lot more smeared than I was expecting. Maybe we'll do a harsh line over here, but keep a lot of the floral pattern, which I like. Maybe like a little bit of dry brushing or dots. And this one just needs some flowers, maybe a tiny bit here to make it blend a little bit better. Keep it simple. The focus is up here. The biggest thing that I struggle with when it comes to art is actually having those long-term projects and half-finished pieces. This piece could have looked so much better if I just continued with that same style on the bottom half. But I'm gonna be completely honest with you, okay? It's 1 year later. I don't have the same attachment towards it. My feelings have changed. And the best thing in this instance is really just to get it done. So if I've got the fabric medium and the paint to hand, we might as well just use it. Just quickly try and fill something in down the bottom. And it kind of does look like two completely different art styles that way. There's actually another super long project going on in the background from when I had an idea on holiday to create like a holiday sketchbook, and it's taken so long. It comes to a point where I really struggle with momentum in these projects. Painted a windmill. It kind of fits the prompt create energy, and that way we can cut it up, we can stick it in. It's an odd piece. It kind of looks like time has passed, but the most important thing is it's now done. One less half-finished project hanging about. And with that, we've created 4 free prompts in the Create This book. A super chaotic spread that had a little bit of everything, a little silly style, and a project that's finally finished. This has been an odd one, that's for sure. Comment this emoji if you made it this far. And hey, why don't you give the video a like and subscribe too if you're not already. Have a wonderful day, and I'll meet you back here on Thursday. Bye bye.